Good evening everyone, my name's George of Big Gay Knits, my pronouns are he, they, and today we are going to have a little stash busting update for you. So everyone, say it with me, I love the colour of this yarn. So this is my Glenview sweater that I'm making from Giddy Yarn's Never Neverland yarn that she's hand dyed. This is a free pattern on Ravelry and I'm making the size for a 38-inch chest. I'm a couple of rows away from being able to split for sleeves, which I'm really excited about. And it's also occurred to me that maybe I should probably add in a second ball of yarn so that I don't get really awkward colour pooling. I do have a bit of a purple splodge at the moment that I'm trying to break up, so I'm trying to sort that out at the moment. So yeah, this is this is where we're at the moment for this one. I think it's going to take me quite a while, but I'm looking forward to splitting for the sleeves and being able to just work on the body. I did have a bit of a panic about this the other day and I was stressing out about the fact that I wasn't sure about the sizing and I was a bit panicked that it was going to be quite small and I wouldn't be able to wear it. So I was talking to my friends at my local knitting circle and my friend recommended that I check out the Tin Can Flax pattern for that. So I have had a look at that and I think it is knit on a slightly bigger needle, so 3.75 rather than 3.5mm. It's reassuring to see that the stitch count is about the same for what I should be getting for this, so that's kind of relieved a lot of fear that I had that I was doing completely the wrong stitch count. So for both of them for 38 inches, I've approximately the right amount of stitches for the arms and for the back and the front. I also think because this is superwash merino, I'm going to get a little bit of growth in this when I block it. Isn't it so pretty? I can't wait to wear this. It's going to take another, I don't know, it's going to take weeks. That's fine, I've got time. It's not a race, as I like to remind myself, it's not a race. So yeah, really looking forward to smashing through, and it's just nice to have a really simple project that I don't have to think about very much. So really enjoying knitting this. You can see what I mean here about you can see what I mean about the little purple splodge that I've got here. So trying to break that up, although I think it's quite possible that these are all from exactly the same dye lot, so I don't know if I'm going to get exactly the same colour pooling in various areas. So that's the Glenview. So I think last week I was talking about not having a cardigan to go over dungarees, wearing my lovely dungarees that I made today with this green cardigan that I made. And I was saying that I really missed having a cardigan to go over the top of things. So, and that one of the projects that I had to be knitted this year was a remake of the Aosta cardigan that I knitted, and I accidentally made like way too big. So I think over Christmas I frogged all of the yarn out of that. I think it took me a full day to frog everything because it kind of like all fused together. I spent a long time unravelling that and getting it back into balls of yarn. Again, I was like, Swift, I don't know her. So I did it all by hand sitting on the sofa, mainly so I can watch telly with my partner. So in last week's video I said that I really wanted to re-knit that. I also recall saying that maybe I wasn't going to knit any more green jumpers and maybe I'd had enough of green jumpers, and then I also said I'm probably going to knit a green jumper now, so that's what this is. I'm just going to finish this purl row and then I will talk to you a bit more about this. So this is the Aosta cardigan pattern by the Knit Purl Girl that I think was like the second garment. So I made the classic sweater from We Are Knitters from this yarn, and then I decided that that didn't fit very well at all whatsoever. I had so many issues with that. It was the first garment that I'd ever knitted and it was really pants. So I frogged that, and then I was searching and I'd heard of Ravelry and I was like, put this yarn into Ravelry, and I think someone had made an Aosta cardigan with it and I was like, ooh, I really like that. That looks really lovely. So I got the pattern and like set up doing it and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. I don't know, guys, I don't know how I knitted that. How on earth did I knit that as like a complete beginner to it? Plus like, I don't even think I could purl properly at that point. I think I was purling everything through the back loop, and this pattern, like every fourth row you are doing like a rib stitch, so knit one, purl one to create the Andalusian stitch. I have absolutely no idea how I managed to do that. The hilarious thing was, as I've like frogged and then rewound this ball of yarn, I found so many of the ends that I thought I could definitely weave in. I didn't know what weaving in ends was. When I made this cardigan, I didn't know how to weave in an end. So some of them I've like plaited them together and some of them I've like tried to knot together in like a big lump, and I'm like, what in the actual hell is this? Or I've tried to like splice them together somehow, but like had like loads of ends, and it's just a hot mess. So that was quite funny, like ripping that back to reknit. So this is where I'm up to. I have been absolutely zooming on this. I've really enjoyed knitting it. It's knit on 7mm needles, so it's quite nice. I'm making size D. So you start at the top and then you work your way down using the raglan increase method, which was new to me at the time, but I'm now quite familiar with. And then you do the neckline shaping and then work down the body. So I've got probably another couple of inches on the body, and then I'll pick up and do for the sleeves. And then I do remember it being a massive pain in the arse to do the ribbing around the neckline, so I'm not really looking forward to that. Although probably this, I felt like, took me absolutely months to make the first time I made it, and then this time I've like, well, this is like a week. I think I finished filming the video last time and then I just went straight in to this pattern. So yeah, so I think maybe another week and it might be done. I don't know, we'll see how far out. I've got quite a busy week. I've got a man coming to dig up my floor, which is why this is in here. Looking forward to getting this. I really want to finish the body. I do recall the ribbing taking me a very long time when I knitted it the first time, but I'm hoping that, I think it's only like 5 rounds as well of rib or something, because this yarn is like chunky and knits up very quickly, and obviously it's on a 7mm needle. I think you even do the rib on like a 6mm needle, so it does knit up incredibly quickly. I do know that this is definitely going to be one of my big hitters for the year in terms of getting the yarn out of my stash, because when I've made this, I've already made quite a few things. I've made a hat out of this yarn, and then I also made some little mittens hilariously. So the mittens I was knitting on my, I can't remember if it's I think my first proper date with my partner that I went on, and she was so sweet. She came to meet me at my knitting group and she brought me a drink, and I was like so flustered by the fact that like she'd remembered what drink I said that I liked to drink. And I was knitting these mittens and they had short rows in, and I kept messing it up every single time because I was so nervous that she was like stood there. So she was having this conversation with someone else in my knitting circle, and I was like trying to like do short rows and then also like have a massive panic about how much I liked her. I was just having this massive stress out, and then about 6 months into dating she told me that she knew that I liked her so much because she could tell how nervous I was when I was knitting. And I was like, oh man, I really thought I got away with that. So yeah, so I've got very fond memories of this yarn. Unfortunately I managed to get hand sanitizer all over those mittens, and I don't know what even happened with that, but it just like had like loads of weird sticky gloppy all over them, and I was like, do you know what, I think I'm just gonna bin them. And I wouldn't usually bin stuff, but it was so like matted right into the pile, I don't know, like the yarn, that I just couldn't get it out. And I was like, okay, I can try and get it out and like completely ruined. It's like glue basically. If you'd poured a load of like really sticky glue over it, loosely spun single yarn, and then you were like, oh, I can try and pull that out, it just wasn't happening. Like every time I pulled it would just pull all the stitches loose. So I'm looking forward to having this back in my wardrobe so that I can wear it over my dungarees again. I'm sure that I will have enough to do the sleeves, and I'm hoping to have a little bit left over, so I don't know, I might keep a little bit for mending, but then I think the rest of it, I don't know, I'll see if I can find something to do with it. I really love the texture of this. I think it's really effective. It's quite a simple pattern, but it looks a lot more complicated than it is. I still can't believe that I picked this as the second garment that I ever knit though. Like, what was I thinking? Clearly I saw like the 2 out of 5 things saying a beginner, and I was like, I can do that, I'm a beginner. So yeah, it's so funny to me. I think I knitted it all on these needles, which are 8mm needles, and I didn't have different needles for the ribbing, so the ribbing must have been massive. Like it was so like such a weird project to have done. So yeah, that's this week's progress on the Aosta cardigan. And then finally, hot off the needles, a finished object for you, and using a total of 23 grams of yarn, are these pheasant socks. Knitted these using my standard toe-up pattern that I've used, and then I add the 3x1 ribbing on the top. So if you smush a toe up sock pattern with Wise Hilda's basic rib sock, you will get these socks. I finished it with like a little bit of 1x1 rib around the top. I was a little bit panicked doing this, that I was going to run out of yarn. I had like the tiniest ball left. Let me see if I can find it for you to show you. So this is what I've got left from knitting that. That's what I was down to. I knew it would be fine though, because this is a colour changing yarn, and as the colours went along up the sock, I was like, okay, so I know that I've definitely got another red section, so I will be able to knit this. So yeah, so that's it. I do have, however, this chunk. So this happened when I had to spool some off to get round to this colour again, because I really helpfully cut it at the wrong point and then was like, oh bugger, I'm gonna have to do a full thing. So I've actually got a full repeat of this sock yarn, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this, but that might get donated. And I might keep this tiny little, it's just so funny, isn't it? It's so tiny weeny, like look at that, tiny. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this in my little mending stash. This is gonna find a new home, or I'll see if I can put it into some other 4-ply project. Those are my pheasant socks that I've got. I feel quite sentimental about this pattern actually. It reminds me of being a kid and my dad telling me that I had pet pheasants. We lived and our house kind of backed onto a wood, and my dad told me that we used to have pet pheasants called Bill and Charlie. So maybe this is Bill and this is Charlie. And then everywhere we would go, he would say that they were following us, but it would just be the 2 nearest pheasants to wherever we were. But I was really convinced, like little 4-year-old me, that I had pet pheasants, and I told people at school very proudly about the fact that I had pet pheasants, which clearly was not the case. They just, it's just whatever pheasants were closest. Quite fond memories of pheasants, so very happy to make this. Obviously, sorry, the name of the yarn, I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but the name of the yarn is Pheasant, from West Yorkshire Spinners. They've got like a birds collection. I saw someone at my knitting circle making socks out of robin coloured yarn, so it's quite exciting that we're going to have like coordinating socks, so maybe we'll have to arrange to wear them at the same time. Those are all the things that I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed my little stash busting update. I was thinking of doing like little videos and then maybe putting them together to like have like a bit of a catch up for the whole month. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. It does again leave me with a bit of a hole in my kind of 1 to 3 whips, so I've kind of got the longer term one in the 4-ply jumper. The Aosta cardigan, I'm like definitely cracking through, but I think I will probably get that finished relatively quickly. So it might be a new sock cast on. I'm feeling like it could be sock time. Haven't knitted a sock for a week. I haven't knitted a sock for a week. Oh my god, who even am I? So yeah, could be socks, or I might think about making a start on either the Kintra or the twist cardigan that I said that I was going to do, or I might have it, I don't know. I'm gonna have a look. I'll have a little look in my stash and see what looks good to me. I've seen a pointel jumper pattern that someone else showed, and now I can't remember who that was and I don't know the name of the pattern, but I've seen a jumper pattern that I like that's DK weight, so I'm thinking that that might be my red jumper that I've got from the Rowan Moordale DK weight that I've got in Pillar Box. That might be, I don't know, maybe that's coming up soon, I'm not sure. A part of me wants to knit kind of the heavyweight things before we get out of winter, so that I can actually have a chance of wearing them, because I really want to knit some summer knits, but I don't have anything to knit that's very like summery apart from it's just 4-ply, so I don't know whether to focus on the heavier weight stuff and leave the lighter stuff for the summer. Not entirely sure. In terms of stash busting, these used 23 grams of yarn, so that's come off the stash, which I think probably is like a quarter of a ball, so I think I'm now at 155.75 balls of wool. So, you know, 23 grams at a time. it'll be going down. I need to crack on with those jumpers, don't I really? I told someone the other day that I had 7 kilos of yarn, and they were like, how on earth do you have 7 kilos? And I was like, it's not that much, it's fine. So yeah, just a lovely little bit of denial there. Happy with my progress for this week. I'm looking forward to weighing up the leftovers from the Aosta cardigan and seeing what I can clear out of the stash with that. Let me know in the comments what you're making this week, and if you've watched this far in the video, please put a little green heart in just to say I'm very interested to see who gets that far in the comment. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely evening. Take care. Cheery bye.